Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Grakowski, and welcome back to the Better Brain Academy. So we've talked about the neurotransmitter serotonin and its effects on depression and how come so many people are on antidepressants. So we're going to talk about today the 7 ways that you can increase serotonin, not only from your diet, but also from your certain mindset and how that actually works. So if you have low serotonin levels, which is a neurotransmitter, it can not only lead to being unhappy, frustrated, angry, depressed, you can't sleep, a whole host of emotions because your serotonin levels are not in proper balance within the body. Like I said previously, your gut makes about 90% of the serotonin. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that helps the enteric brain, meaning our digestive brain. They call it the second brain because there are more nerves down in the digestive tract and around the heart area that are communicating up to the brain about 10 times more than the brain is communicating to them. So we need to make sure that serotonin is pushing the food through our digestive tract. So the first thing you have to look at with serotonin is reducing glycemic foods. That means your sugars. If you have way too many sugars in your diet, you're going to have problems with serotonin production and serotonin uptake in the brain. I was at a baseball game the other day, and I was looking at all the different foods that people were eating, and I was really just looking at it from a society of, we have, from 20, 30 years ago, we are much more overweight than we were then. And I look at how easy it is to get foods that are high in sugar, high in fats, and processed, and our body is just storing it. So number one, if you reduce your glycemic or sugar in the body, not only is it going to reduce your weight, but it's going to allow your brain to function more properly and not affect serotonin levels. The challenge is it's kind of like an addiction. You almost feel like you need more and more sugar because maybe you're down or you feel like you need just a burst. But it's like putting gas on a fire. It's like it gives you that immediate, quick release of energy and then it drops down. So you get these highs and lows with your not only your blood sugar, but your digestive processes and also your brain transmitters. So number one, make sure that you reduce the amount of glycemic foods or sugary foods in your diet. Number two is supplementing vitamin D. Now obviously our body can make vitamin D more in the summertime because we have more sun exposure. But especially in the wintertime or the months where we're not out or if we're not getting enough sun exposure, then your vitamin D levels are too low. That is very important in the production of serotonin. So supplementation of vitamin D, and you can actually have blood tests to see where you're at, but the most important thing is that you're getting enough. So I recommend 500 to 1,000 milligrams of vitamin D on a daily basis. Now you can even have a little bit higher than that, a little bit lower. The brain span test is part of that we determined about what levels of vitamin D you might need, and also the omega-3s. So because you've done that test, it's important to look at, if it's said to supplement vitamin D, I would recommend that. Number 3 in serotonin production is the actual act of touching, of connection. They've shown that getting hugs or having a massage or somebody just rubbing your shoulders increases serotonin production. If we live a disconnected, isolated life, our serotonin levels drop down and we get less and less of that neurotransmitter. So the art of connection, of touch, massage, hugs, all those things rapidly increase serotonin production. So it's important to look at that, not only from when infants are first born and working in a hospital setting, especially if they're preemies, the art of touch and the touching the baby in certain levels allows their brain to allow it to produce enough serotonin, but also develop properly. So touch and connection is very important in serotonin production. Number 4 is meditation. Now, we have meditation in our office for the reason because it affects our brain health and our overall health and our heart health and so many different levels. There's more research coming out now, thousands and thousands of papers showing how meditation is so important in our brain health and calming down all the stresses of the day. We've got these higher brainwave patterns that we're busy throughout the day. You get stuck in traffic, get all these deadlines you've got to do. And if we keep thinking about that, and then we get home and we turn on TV and we get overstimulated by light, then we wonder why our serotonin levels get thrown off. So it's important to lower the frequency of the brainwave patterns, going from that gamma to the hyperbeta to beta to the alpha, the theta, the delta. All these different brainwave patterns have to calm down. When you do meditation and you do it regularly, it dramatically affects, on a functional MRI, you can see where the brain is all active, and then after meditation, it's in a calm state. Calming the brain, allowing it to relax, is just as important as allowing your digestive tract to have time to relax. So like I said, in your phasing with your diet, make sure that you're looking at not eating throughout the entire day. Shut those areas down and take part of that and add some meditation to calm down some of the brainwave patterns and increase serotonin. Number 5 has to do with gratefulness and the emotions that the brain actually makes. If we're in a state of gratefulness, our energy in the body calms down. One of the things that I recommend, I've been doing this for 38 years now, I keep an annual journal every year and I write down all the things of the day. And I don't do that every day. I might catch up, I might miss a week. There's times when I missed a month, but I just recap everything. And it's amazing when you've had those overwhelming days, you can go back to that and go, really, what's most important? And in your journal, obviously, you want to make sure that you're looking at the beginning of it, that you're writing down your goals and your dreams or aspirations and all the things that you're grateful for. And that starts your day out in a good process. Starting your day with meditation, journaling, or quiet time, prayer, all those things are very important in the serotonin production and your overall brain health. So it's not about just all these things that get all frenetic. Put some rituals into your day. Start your day with maybe a early morning meditation. Look at your journal, read scripture, read powerful, empowering things so that you can start your brainwave pattern in a less frenetic state. Number 6 is sleep. We are a sleep-deprived society, and unfortunately now there are so many people that are not getting the proper rest. We talked about how magnesium is very important in the sleep patterns. So make sure that you're supplementing magnesium. You should be getting 4 milligrams per pound of body weight on a daily basis. I recommend it twice a day, and do it in the morning and doing it at night. The other thing with sleep is we are bombarded with light. There's more light coming into our brain at a high frequency rate than ever before. So we need to make sure that we turn off our electronics at least an hour before rest. No added light. Having more quiet time, more conversation, less on your phone or on your iPad or on your reader or watching television. All these things are blasting your brain, and if you try and get to sleep, it affects melatonin levels. So serotonin and melatonin are very coupled as far as your brain. And we look at the pineal gland when it is making its melatonin. If that cycle gets thrown off and you're not going to sleep at the same rituals and the same time, then your sleep patterns get thrown off. So I highly recommend that you're trying to get to sleep at a certain time and try and get 8 hours of sleep. If you go to bed at 10 o'clock and wake up at 6, that's a great timing to make sure that you're getting enough rest time. And number 7 is exercise. Getting movement increases serotonin levels. If we are sitting at a computer all day long and we're looking like this, we're affecting the brain, our posture, our neurological systems. Getting at least 20 to 30 minutes of walking dramatically affects serotonin levels in the brain. It not only is good for your mind to just walk and feel nature, and be outside. I highly recommend being more out in nature as opposed to, say, on a treadmill. So if you have the opportunity, taking a regular walk. If you're not used to it, then start with a 5-minute walk and then go 5 minutes out and 5 minutes back, and then 10 minutes out, 10 minutes back, and then 15 minutes out, 15 minutes back. If you can add 30 minutes of movement, that's only 4% of your day. Just think about it, that's only 4%. And just to think about the things that you can think about when you're actually doing your walk. So we want to make sure that we're looking at all the factors to increase your serotonin levels in the brain so it reduces depression. So in review, number 1, eat low glycemic or low sugar foods. Number 2, make sure that you're looking at getting vitamin D supplementation. Number 3, make sure that you're making more connecting with yourself, connecting with massage, connecting with others, hugs. Number 4 is meditation. getting out of that hyperactive state where you're frenetic, you've been in that fight or flight throughout the day, you're fighting battles, and getting into that rest and digest, which is the parasympathetic nervous system, so meditation helps calm that down. Number 5 is journaling, remembering all the things that you're grateful for and putting those things down, getting out of your brain, out of your mind. Number 6 is getting a better night's sleep. Make sure that you're supplementing your magnesium like I've talked about, getting the light out of the day at least an hour before you go to sleep so you're not bombarding your brain with all those blue lights. And number 7, get up and move. Get up and walk, put exercise and motion into your day. Pumps the cerebral spinal fluid and helps in the serotonin production. This is another series of things that you can look at. Each of these are wrapping with your nutrition, but also adding in some of the team approach, your thinking, your eating, your adjustments, and your movement. I look forward to talking to you soon. This is Dr. Bob. Have a great rest of your day.